And with that, we're joined now by Coach Luke Fickell from Cincinnati.
Always.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on reaching the championship game once again. If you just start with an opening statement, and then we'll take questions, please.
Well, my opening statement is we're out at practice, so that's why I'm in the attire, and I'm not going to say we're going to make this as quick as possible, but no, we're really excited, obviously, to have a home game. We're really excited to be in the championship. This has always been, since the day we walked in the door, the objective and the goal of our program, and was to play for championships. We've been fortunate enough the last 3 years to be in the game, and extremely excited for another opportunity at this, and especially at home.
McElroy from KPRC in Houston. What jumps out to you when you look at the Cougars offense and their young running back McCaskill and their quarterback Clayton Tune?
Well, it's not just that. I think that the balance that they've got offensively is what always makes it difficult. Obviously, the freshman running back McCaskill and have done a great job, but I think it's the ability, to both the run and the pass. And anytime you're a balanced offense, it makes it a lot more difficult defensively to defend. I really do believe that the quarterback extending plays, his ability to not say run it all the time, but the ability to extend plays. He's a really good athlete that I don't think he gets enough credit for, and he throws really good on the run.
Talked a lot about complementary football, all three phases. What's it like to scout and prepare for a team that's had success this year in all three phases too?
That's why they're, obviously they've a lot of reasons why they're here, but I think the reason they're 11-1 is as complete a football team as we've played all year. And when you look at it offensively, defensively, and especially in the special teams, their ability to create energy, momentum, big plays with the return game has been huge for them. But I think it does something to teams too. So you've got to prepare. You've got to be sound in everything that you're doing. Always an opportunity for them to make big plays on special teams. They talk about the return game. They've also blocked, I think, 4 punts, 2 field goals. So you can tell, when you look at a program and a team and you watch the special teams, to me, kind of tells you what the program's really about. And they obviously, Coach Holgorsen's done an incredible job wherever he's been, and you can tell that he's doing a great job there, not just offensively, defensively, but complementary football.
In the past couple of years with Houston, could you see this coming, where they were kind of going through that building phase with Dana, and you knew eventually they were going to get here?
I think so. Last year was such a whirlwind. It's hard to tell a lot of things from that year, and then the year, 3 years ago, we went and played them. They had D.R.E. King had just kind of stopped playing. So I know they've probably had to battle through from the time he's gone there some of that, ups and downs of having some great players that, aren't available or even take off. So, but you can definitely see the growth. And not just with players, but even throughout, the offense, of seeing how it's grown over the last few years, and especially the defense. You knew that they had talent. And everybody's got talent. It doesn't always show up as much as it does, especially on the special teams that it has for them. But that shows me, at least, that there's a lot of emphasis put on knowing that, you don't win championships and be in championship games without having and playing all three phases. You don't have to ask them. It's okay.
We asked a lot of questions about Notre Dame on Tuesday when we talked to you. Is it nice a relief to have one less distraction with that position being filled?
Yeah, it's always nice to have any distractions that are out of the way, and that being another one. But it really wasn't that big of a deal. I hope to a lot of others. The guys within the program. I don't know how much they pay attention to it. I know that it's always something that hangs over all of our heads. But I think the thing that these guys have been able to do more than anything all year is to do a good job with the distractions. And from game day being here to, early on, just, some of the energy and excitement and expectations that we've had, they've done a really good job on handling all of it.
Luke, I don't want to distract you too much from this, but Marcus Freeman's a dear friend of yours. How happy are you for him to get this opportunity?
Extremely happy. Haven't had a chance to really talk with him. I know my wife and his wife, and I think maybe even him have communicated. Obviously just text messages, but it's a great opportunity. Obviously, anytime that, you've had guys that are friends of yours, colleagues of yours that have opportunities like this, boy, you can be nothing but excited. And, at some point in time, we'll be able to share that and maybe enjoy a little bit of his success.
Your first two hires at Cincinnati are now head coaches. Let's talk about the Luke Fickell coaching tree.
Yeah, no, there's those guys can both be tied back to obviously Coach Tressel and a lot of others. And when things go well, obviously people try to claim things, and if things don't go well, then maybe you don't claim them as much. But it's great to have good friends that are in a lot of the same situations and positions as you. It gives you more people to be able to bounce things off of. I know that.
Joseph Duarte with the Houston Chronicle. Luke, the things that Houston does defensively up front with their pressure, is this anything new that you've seen this year, or in terms of what they're able to do? How aggressive, when you look at them on film, are they?
It's probably more aggressive than anybody we've seen all year. And I've talked about it earlier in the week. Whenever you play a triple option, which all of us do in Navy, everybody talks about the preparation and how do you prepare for the speed of the triple option and the things you got to do. And then you play a team that's like really, really up tempo, and how do you prepare for the speed and the tempo of those things? Well, it's the same thing really with preparing for them offensively, because it's really difficult to simulate what it is that they do up front, the way they get after the quarterback, the way they get up the field. It's not something I think we see on an everyday basis. I know our offense doesn't see it from us. We're not that same kind of with edges and things like that. So it's something that's very difficult to prepare for. It's very difficult to recognize and understand what the speed of it's going to be until game day.
Coach, you've got the top 10 team. You've talked about wanting a top 10 program. How far along are you in that process, you think, and what do you need to get there? Is it more facilities driven because you've got it on the field side now?
Well, I think all those things add up, and that's all a part of being a top 10 program. That you have the commitment, you have those things that are in line. If you don't have them right now, you see them down the pipe, and that's what we've done. There's a lot of things that are on the docket. I don't know if they're official yet. That will happen here in the next, hopefully, year and a half, 2 years, that give you that opportunity. Because you can't, I've said it before, you can't be a top 10 program from having 1 or 2 years. You got to really do things over a period of time. You've got to sustain a lot of great things. You've got to see you're always growing. And that doesn't always mean, like we said, okay, so you had 10 wins, you had 11 wins, you had whatever. It's not always what that means. It's the consistency, it's the ability to not have those dips. It's the ability to, when you lose 30-some seniors, to be able to reload and how you can handle those types of things. So, I feel like we're in a really good place. We've got a top 10 football team. I think that we've seen that all year. Are we a top 10 program? We still have got a ways to go. And I think that over time, with consistency, and that's in many different phases, that I think that we're on that path. And but for me, it's going to be really hard for me to ever say that we are. Maybe at some point in time when I can retire, I can say, we've made this a top 10 program. But either way, we're going to continue to push. And then if it does become a top 10 program, then our goal will be a top 5 program. And at some point in time, we'll get there. Anybody else? Can head back to practice? All right. Okay. Sorry about that. You all dressed up and I'm.
Okay. As you can see, we're joined by Coach Dana Holgorsen from Houston. Coach, congratulations on an outstanding season and qualifying for the championship game.
Thank you.
When you're ready, we'll take an opening statement from you, then we'll open up to questions.
Yeah, sorry I'm a little late. I was in there scouting the basketball team here for Coach Sampson. They're in there practicing, so I figured I'd get a sneak peek. Good to be here in Cincinnati. Long trip in. We thought we were going to be really late, but Scott brought his former NASCAR skills and got us over here in about 10 minutes. But appreciate the hospitality. Had a good week of practice, ready for tomorrow.
Hey, Coach. I remember last year you likened Desmond Ridder to Colin Kaepernick as far as his athleticism and his ability to throw the football. You've seen a lot of great quarterback play in your career. Just your impressions of Desmond and his growth as a passer.
Yeah, he's done great. What's he won? 43 games? Is that where we're at now? 43. Say that's a heck of a career. I said this about Clayton Tune prior to the year, that if he's not better this year, then that's on me. I would have think Coach Fickle would probably say the same thing with developments of quarterbacks. If they're not getting better, that's more coaching than anything. So I think that's just the natural progression of what he's done. He's played a lot of football. He's played in a lot of big games and has performed well. You don't win the amount of games that they've won without good quarterback play. So, I think, he's certainly gotten better in the past game. That's because he's got good coaches here, and they got good people around him. And he's obviously a hard worker and deserving of all the accolades that's coming his way right now.
Dana, just wanted to check how practice has gone this week in terms of what you've seen from your guys. Now that you're in championship game week and health-wise, you still feel as confident, as you were after the UConn game about some of the guys that had to come out?
Yeah, we're as healthy as we've been all year. So I think that it's amazing you get healthy and you practice well when you have big games. So, the last two games, leading into Memphis, we knew we were going to be in this game, so we had to get creative on motivating our crew. And then last week, the conference was wrapped up. For some reason, we got to go to UConn during Thanksgiving. Who likes being in Connecticut during Thanksgiving? But we had to go do that. So we had to get kind of creative there, trying to get our guys to play well, which we did. I had some choice words for them at halftime because it was a little close. But this week, it's what you play for, So it's funny how guys get healthy real quick. They want to be out there for practice. We got a huge challenge tomorrow. Cincinnati's good at everything. So we needed the practice time, and guys needed the practice time to get to where they can, play well in this game. So everybody's here, everybody's good, everybody's healthy. We had a good week of practice. That's all we can ask for.
Hey, Dana, you've been asked a lot about the job McCaskill has done this year. What were your expectations when he arrived, and did you envision his role and his success that he's had this year?
Yeah, we knew what we got when we recruited him. There's a reason why he could have went to, pretty much every Power 5 school. So, the thing, and I said this, that you don't know how 18-year-old kids are gonna, first year of college, you don't know how they're gonna, hold up to the grind, because it's a grind. College football is a grind. I mean, playing running back is the hardest position to play. Physically, we put a lot on them. They take a pounding, whether they're delivering blocks or getting hit or getting hit again and again. So he's handled it well. I got asked that same question like 6 weeks into it. I got asked that question. I said, I don't know what weeks 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 are going to look like. And then after 10 weeks, I'm like, well, he got hurt again, so I don't know what 11 is going to look like. He got hurt again. I didn't know what 12 was going to look like. He keeps coming back for more, because he's a competitive young man, and we're fortunate to have him at Houston. He's the freshman of the year in the American, which is a huge honor. There's a lot of good players in this conference, and he's going to be fun to watch moving forward.
Is this as good a special teams matchup as maybe you've seen, because both units have been outstanding?
Oh, yes. The first thing we did on Sunday was show them the special teams results from a year ago, because Cincinnati won every category last year, special teams wise. It was one of our worst special teams performances in the 3 years that I've been here. Obviously, Cincinnati pays attention to it. I think that's got to be important to the head coach to have results like that. We know Coach Fickle is heavily involved in special teams here, and it shows with how they play and who plays on those units. I'd like to think that we do the same thing. We've been good at special teams the 3 years that I've been at Houston, so our expectations are a lot higher than what we did last year when we were here at Nippert. So, yeah, that's been an emphasis. But it's tough to go against these guys special teams wise, and I'd like to think that we put some pretty good stuff out there special teams wise here this year, and so I expect us to play much better in that phase.
You face this team in 19 and 20. Did the defense look any different under a new first-year defensive coordinator?
Not to me, it doesn't. Not to me, it doesn't. There's no weaknesses there. They can rush the passer. They're good up front. They can hold double teams. Those backers are really good. I know there's a lot of accolades coming to Beaver's way. He's deservingly so, Senior Bowl and all that. 41's really good. I mean, he runs the show. You can see that. Those two guys they make plays everywhere. And this is not. I want to make sure I say this right. This ain't no bulletin board material. I mean, number one is like getting all the All-American praise, and he's the best corner in the country, unless that other one is, unless 7 is, and then they say, well, what about 9? I'm like, mine 9 might be better in a year. I don't know. I mean, they're all 3 phenomenal players, So they lost a couple of safeties of the NFL, and they replaced them with Cook 6, who's a Senior Bowl guy. So I don't see a difference. They're the same guys, same team. Coach Fickle's a defensive guy. The system's the same, the scheme's the same, and those players are better. And they're playing well. It's going to be a big challenge.
Dana, Doug was telling us on Tuesday that Donovan had come back in practice. I'm curious, same Donovan now that he's back, or is there any sort of getting over that mental hump or anything from what he went through to get him back out there?
They wouldn't clear him if there was anything to worry about. Right, so anytime that and that was scary. Everybody saw that. He took a week off. They evaluated him daily. He passed every test. Practiced good Sunday. Practiced good Tuesday. They kept clearing him. So it looks like the same Donnie to me. He's our emotional leader, our team captain. He's the one running the show out there for us defensively, and it's awful good to have him back.
Dana, you've got experience in this part of the country. Coming here to Cincinnati in December, the weather could be a whole lot worse than it's going to be.
It's absolutely perfect out there right now. If you think I don't have this weather app on this thing wore out from Philly. What was that, 3 weeks ago? Which was not good weather. I mean, we're talking about gusts of 50 miles an hour, wind chill of like 30. I was staring at the Connecticut weather, which could have been a heck of a lot worse. Although it was cold, and this part of the country it gets dark at noon, evidently, because the sun came up over here, and the press box was right here, so our sideline was shaded, and of course theirs was sunny, so theirs was 20 degrees warmer. It could have been a lot worse, but it was still pretty chilly. We've been staring at this. I watched this game last year on TV, obviously wishing that we could have been in it. If scheduling could have got worked out, maybe we would have been in it. But what was it, 29 degrees and rain? That's miserable. That had to have been miserable here last year. Yeah, I can imagine. I know I've been there and done that. I would say sunny and 55 with 5 to 10 miles an hour winds for this time of the year is about perfect. It's absolutely beautiful out there right now. So, yeah, we're thankful for that. Speaking of being in this part of the country, my man over here in the back, tell me your name again. Okay, well, this dude gives, like, the escort stuff as good as anything that I've ever seen. The police escort over here was phenomenal. Did a heck of a job. I haven't had one of those like that since West Virginia, where you got space to do it. You can't do it in Houston. It's too much traffic. I miss that. Awesome. Thank you all.